The piercing sound of Sarah's alarm clock cuts through the pre-dawn silence of her cramped one-bedroom apartment. She jolts awake, already mentally calculating the day ahead. Diner shift until 2 p.m., retail store until 6 p.m., then cleaning offices until midnight. As she quietly prepares coffee in her kitchenette, trying not to wake 6-year-old Emma sleeping on the pull-out couch that serves as their living room, the weight of another 18-hour day settles on her shoulders. Sarah stares at the stack of bills on her tiny kitchen table: rent notice, Emma's school fees, and a medical bill from Emma's recent doctor visit. The numbers don't add up. They never do. She counts the crumpled 20s in her tip jar. $47. It might cover groceries for 3 days if she's careful. Emma stirs on the couch, her dark curls messy from sleep. "Mommy," she whispers. "Go back to sleep, baby. Mommy has to work," Sarah whispers back, kissing Emma's forehead. The familiar guilt gnaws at her. Another day where she'll barely see her daughter. As Sarah walks to her beat-up Honda Civic in the parking lot of their rundown apartment complex, Denver's morning skyline glows orange in the distance. She passes neighbors heading to their own early shifts: Maria from 3B, who works double shifts at the hospital, and Joe, who drives for a delivery company. They exchange tired nods, united in their shared struggle. The car coughs to life on the third try. Sarah grips the steering wheel, taking a deep breath. Just another day, she tells herself, but deep down she wonders how much longer she can keep this up. Mel's diner buzzes with the familiar chaos of the morning rush. Sarah ties her apron around her waist, her uniform already wrinkled from being washed too many times. The smell of bacon grease and coffee fills the air as truckers, construction workers, and office employees grab breakfast before their shifts. "Table 6 needs their check, honey," calls out Dolores, a veteran waitress who's worked at Mel's for 15 years. Her gravelly voice carries the wisdom of someone who's seen it all. Sarah moves efficiently between tables, refilling coffee cups and taking orders. Her feet already ache in her worn sneakers, but she forces a smile for every customer. Tips mean the difference between Emma having lunch money or going without. At table 4 sits an elderly man she's never seen before. Distinguished looking, with silver hair and kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses, he orders simply black coffee and wheat toast. Unlike the usual rush of customers checking their phones and hurrying out, he sits quietly, occasionally writing in a small notebook. "More coffee, sir?" Sarah asks, pot in hand. "Please, and might I say you have excellent service here." "Very attentive," he replies with a gentle smile. Sarah feels a flutter of pride. Compliments are rare in this job. "Thank you. I try my best." Throughout the morning, she notices him observing the diner, not in a creepy way, but with genuine interest. He watches how she handles difficult customers with patience, how she remembers regular customers' usual orders, and how she always checks on the elderly couple in the corner booth who eat here every Tuesday. As the lunch crowd begins to filter in, Sarah's energy starts to flag. Her phone buzzes. A text from Emma's school. "Emma says she forgot her lunch money. Can you bring some by?" Sarah's heart sinks. She'd given Emma the last $5 in her purse yesterday. When she looks up, the elderly man is gone. On the table, under his coffee cup, he's left exact change for his bill, plus a $20 tip. Unusually generous for a $4 breakfast. Tucked under the plate is a folded piece of paper. Sarah's hands tremble slightly as she opens it. In neat handwriting it reads, "Your kindness doesn't go unnoticed. This is just the beginning. A friend." Her heart races. $20 means Emma can have lunch for a week. But who was he? And what did he mean by just the beginning? Sarah sits in her Honda in Mel's parking lot, staring at the mysterious note. Her phone shows 2:15 p.m., 15 minutes to get across town to Retail Mart for her second job. But she can't stop thinking about the stranger's words. This is just the beginning. She quickly stops by Emma's school to drop off lunch money. Through the classroom window, she sees Emma laughing with her friends, and for a moment the exhaustion lifts. This is why she works 3 jobs, to see that smile. "Mrs. Martinez?" Emma's teacher, Ms. Rodriguez, calls out as Sarah hurries down the hallway. "Do you have a moment?" Sarah's stomach tightens. Teacher conferences usually mean bad news she can't afford to deal with. Emma's doing well academically, but she's been falling asleep in class lately. "And yesterday she told the class about how you work all the jobs in the world," Ms. Rodriguez says gently. "Is everything okay at home?" The concern in the teacher's voice is genuine, but Sarah feels defensive. "We're managing fine. Emma just needs to get to bed earlier. I understand. I just wanted you to know that if you ever need resources, food assistance, after-school programs, I have information. Sarah forces a smile. Thank you, but we're okay. As she drives to Retail Mart, shame burns in her chest. Emma's falling asleep in school because Sarah's often not home until after midnight, and Emma waits up worrying. The note in her pocket feels heavier now. At Retail Mart, Sarah changes into her blue vest in the employee bathroom. The fluorescent lights are harsh, and her reflection shows the exhaustion she tries to hide. Dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, hands already rough from the morning's work. Her manager, Craig, a 20-something guy who clearly thinks retail is beneath him, assigns her to the returns desk, the most stressful position on a busy afternoon. Angry customers, confusing policies, and a computer system that crashes every hour. I need to return this without a receipt, demands a woman in expensive athleisure, holding a clearly used coffee maker. I'm sorry, but our policy requires a receipt for returns over... This is ridiculous. I want to speak to your manager. As Sarah endures another confrontation, she thinks about the stranger's note. What did he see in her that she can't see in herself? Between the diner and here, she feels invisible, just another tired worker trying to survive. But somewhere in her exhausted mind, a small seed of hope begins to grow. After a hurried dinner of gas station sandwiches in her car, Sarah arrives at the Meridian Plaza office building for her third job. The downtown Denver skyline glitters with lights from offices where people work normal 9-to-5 jobs, something that feels as foreign to Sarah as living on Mars. She changes into her cleaning uniform in the basement employee area, joining Rosa and Miguel, her cleaning crew colleagues. Rosa is a grandmother supporting 3 grandchildren, and Miguel works this job to pay for community college classes during the day. You look tired, mija, Rosa says, noticing Sarah's drooping shoulders. Always tired, Sarah replies, but she pulls out the mysterious note. Something weird happened today, though. She tells them about the customer and the $20 tip with the cryptic message. Miguel whistles low. Maybe he's one of those secret millionaires you see on TV. Or maybe he's just a creep, Rosa warns. You be careful, Sarah. Strange men with money usually want something. They take the service elevator to the 15th floor, a law firm that demands spotless offices every night. As Sarah vacuums the plush carpets and dusts expensive furniture, she can't help but wonder what it would be like to work in a place like this during the day, wearing business clothes instead of a janitor's uniform. Around 9 p.m., her phone buzzes. Emma's babysitter, Mrs. Chen, from down the hall, sends a photo of Emma asleep on the couch, still in her school clothes. The guilt hits Sarah like a physical blow. By the time she gets home, Emma will be deeply asleep, and she'll have to wake her early for school tomorrow. As she cleans the executive conference room with its floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, Sarah allows herself to dream. What if the mysterious customer was serious? What if this really was just the beginning of something better? But reality crashes back as she scrubs coffee stains from the marble countertop. People like her don't get fairy tale endings. They work 3 jobs and hope the bills get paid. At 11:30, as they pack up the cleaning supplies, Rosa touches Sarah's arm. That man who left you the note, maybe he saw what we see. You work harder than anyone I know. You deserve something good. Walking to her car alone in the downtown parking garage, Sarah feels the weight of the day in every muscle. But for the first time in months, alongside the exhaustion is something else. Curiosity about what tomorrow might bring. Sarah arrives at Mel's the next morning, scanning the diner for the mysterious customer, but the familiar faces of truckers and regulars fill the booths. Disappointment settles in her chest. She'd spent half the night wondering if he'd return. The morning rush is particularly brutal. A new cook called in sick, leaving the kitchen understaffed, and 2 waitresses are running late. Sarah finds herself covering extra tables, moving faster than usual to keep customers happy. At 10:30, just as the breakfast rush winds down, he walks in. The same distinguished elderly man, wearing a different but equally well-tailored coat. Sarah's heart skips as he chooses the same corner booth. This time, she approaches his table with nervous energy. "Good morning. Same as yesterday, coffee and toast?" He looks up with those kind eyes and smiles. "Actually, I think I'll try your famous pancakes. Dolores recommended them." Sarah realizes he's been talking to the other staff. "Coming right up, and thank you. For yesterday, I mean." You're very welcome. Might I ask your name? Sarah. Sarah Martinez. It's nice to properly meet you, Sarah. I'm Robert. As Sarah takes his order to the kitchen, Dolores sidles up to her. That man's been asking about you, she whispers. Wants to know how long you've worked here, if you have family. I told him you're a good girl, work real hard. Alarm bells ring in Sarah's mind. What kind of questions? Nothing creepy, honey. More like someone checking references for a job. The morning continues with Sarah stealing glances at Robert's table. He eats slowly, occasionally writing in his notebook, and when other customers are rude to Sarah, she notices him frowning disapprovingly. When it's time for him to leave, Sarah approaches with the check. Her palms are sweaty. Sarah, Robert says quietly, I hope you don't mind me asking, but do you enjoy waitressing? The question catches her off guard. It's a job. It pays bills. But if you could do anything, what would you choose? The question hits deep. When was the last time anyone asked what she wanted? I always wanted to be a nurse, but that was before. She trails off, not wanting to share her personal story with a stranger. Robert nods thoughtfully. Before life got in the way. Something like that. He places exact change on the table, plus another $20 tip, and another folded note. Sarah, sometimes life gives us second chances when we least expect them. Have a wonderful day. After he leaves, Sarah unfolds the note with trembling fingers. Dreams delayed are not dreams denied. Community college nursing program applications due Friday. Your friend, Robert. Her knees nearly buckle. How could he possibly know about her abandoned nursing dreams? And more importantly, how does he know the application deadline? After putting Emma to bed, Sarah sits at her laptop, an old device that takes 5 minutes to start up. She Googles Community College Nursing Program and finds Metro Denver Community College's website. The program looks amazing. 2 years, evening classes available, financial aid offered. But as she reads the requirements, reality sets in. Prerequisites she doesn't have, entrance exams, clinical hours, and even with financial aid there would be costs she can't afford. Books, uniforms, certification fees. Emma wanders out of the bedroom, rubbing her eyes. Mommy, why are you still awake? Sarah closes the laptop quickly. Just paying some bills, baby. Go back to bed. Are you sad? The innocent question pierces Sarah's heart. How does a 6-year-old sense these things? No, sweetheart, Mommy's just tired. Emma climbs into Sarah's lap. Mrs. Chen says when she was little in China her family was very poor, but she studied real hard and became a teacher. She says dreams are like seeds, they grow if you water them. From the mouth of babes. Sarah holds Emma close, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo. The next day during her lunch break from Retail Mart, Sarah drives to the public library. On a computer with better internet, she researches everything about the nursing program. She prints out the application. It's 20 pages long. Need help with anything? Asks the librarian, a middle-aged woman with a warm smile. Just looking into school programs, Sarah says hesitantly. That's wonderful. We have a career counseling program here every Thursday evening. Free service, they help with applications, financial aid, everything. Sarah takes the flyer, but doubts she can attend. Thursday is her heaviest cleaning night. That evening at Meridian Plaza, while cleaning the law firm's break room, Sarah overhears a conversation between 2 young lawyers, grabbing late-night coffee. I can't believe how much my student loans are, one complains. Sometimes I wonder if law school was worth it. At least you're using your degree, the other replies. My sister's a nurse, makes good money, always has job security. Healthcare's recession-proof. Sarah pauses her dusting, listening. Plus, nursing school's way cheaper than law school. My sister went to Metro Denver CC. Great program, lots of financial aid. Sarah's heart races. It's like the universe is sending her signs. But as she takes the elevator down to clean the next floor, doubt creeps back. People like her don't just change their lives overnight. She has responsibilities, bills, a daughter who needs her. Still, that night she fills out the first page of the nursing program application just to see how it feels. Robert hasn't returned to Mel's in 3 days, and Sarah finds herself disappointed each morning when she scans the diner and doesn't see him. Maybe he was just passing through Denver. Maybe his kindness was a one-time thing. The breakfast rush is lighter than usual, giving Sarah time to think about the nursing application hidden in her car's glove compartment. She's filled out 6 pages, but can't bring herself to complete it. The deadline is tomorrow. At 11 a.m., when the diner is nearly empty except for a few coffee regulars, Robert walks in. But he's not alone. A professional-looking woman in her 40s accompanies him, carrying a leather portfolio. They sit in his usual booth, and Sarah approaches nervously. "Good morning, Sarah," Robert says warmly. "I'd like you to meet someone. This is Jennifer Walsh. She's a nursing instructor at Metro Denver Community College." Sarah's coffee pot nearly slips from her hands. What? Jennifer extends her hand with a kind smile. "Robert told me about your interest in nursing. I hope you don't mind him reaching out." Sarah looks between them, confusion and panic rising. "I don't understand. How do you two—" "Sarah," Robert says gently, "I should have been more transparent. I'm not just a random customer. I'm Robert Hartwell, and I run a foundation that helps working parents pursue healthcare careers." The name sounds familiar. Sarah remembers seeing it on a plaque in the Meridian Plaza lobby. Hartwell Foundation offices are on the 20th floor. "You've been watching me," Sarah says, not sure if she should feel flattered or violated. "Initially, yes, but not in the way you might think. Dolores actually nominated you." Sarah turns to look at Dolores behind the counter, who gives a sheepish wave. "You were struggling, honey. I've seen too many good people work themselves to death in this business. When I heard about Robert's foundation, I thought of you." Jennifer opens her portfolio. "Sarah, your work ethic is exactly what we look for in nursing candidates. But more than that, you have natural compassion. I've seen how you treat customers here, even the difficult ones." "I don't have the prerequisites," Sarah says weakly, "or the money." "The foundation covers all educational expenses for qualified candidates," Robert explains. "Books, fees, even childcare assistance during classes and clinicals, and we work with students to create flexible schedules around existing work." Sarah sits down heavily in the booth, overwhelmed. "Why me? There must be hundreds of people who need this more." "Because," Jennifer says, "nursing isn't just about need, it's about calling. Every interaction I've observed or heard about shows you naturally caring for others, even when you're exhausted." Sarah thinks about Emma's teacher's words about falling asleep in class, about missing bedtime stories, about the guilt that follows her everywhere. "What about my daughter? My jobs? I can't just—" "The program is designed for working parents," Jennifer assures her. "Evening and weekend classes, online components. You'd probably need to cut back to 2 jobs instead of 3. But the foundation provides a monthly stipend to help bridge that gap." Robert leans forward. "Sarah, I've been where you are. Not exactly. I was never a single parent, but I worked 3 jobs to put myself through school 40 years ago. I started this foundation because I believe everyone deserves a chance to use their gifts." Sarah feels tears threatening. "I need time to think." "Of course," Jennifer says, sliding a packet across the table. "This has all the information, including how to apply for foundation support. But Sarah, the application deadline is tomorrow." As they leave, Robert pauses at Sarah's side. "Whatever you decide, you should know, your daughter is lucky to have someone who fights so hard for her future." Alone in the diner booth, Sarah stares at the packet. Inside is everything she's dreamed of, but never dared to reach for. Sarah sits at her tiny kitchen table with the nursing program materials spread before her, like pieces of a puzzle she's afraid to put together. The apartment feels smaller than usual, cramped with the weight of possibility and fear. Emma sits nearby, coloring in a workbook. "Mommy, what's all those papers?" "Just grown-up stuff, baby." "Is it about work?" Sarah looks at her daughter, really looks at her. Emma's gotten thinner recently. They've been eating too much pasta and peanut butter sandwiches. Her clothes are clean but well worn, and Sarah notices she needs new shoes. "Emma, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Emma considers this seriously. "A teacher, like Mrs. Chen. She helps people learn things." "That's a beautiful dream. What did you want to be, Mommy?" Sarah's throat tightens. "I wanted to help sick people feel better, but sometimes grown-ups have to change their dreams." "Why?" The innocent question cuts deep. Why did she give up? Fear? Circumstances? The overwhelming nature of single motherhood and poverty? Because life got complicated. Emma nods sagely. Mrs. Chen says life is like coloring. Sometimes you go outside the lines, but that doesn't mean the picture is ruined. That evening, after Emma goes to sleep, Sarah calls in sick to her cleaning job, the first time she's ever done so. Instead, She drives to Emma's school for the Thursday night career counseling session the librarian mentioned. In the school cafeteria, she finds 12 other adults hunched over laptops and forms, parents like her trying to build better futures. The volunteer counselor, a retired teacher named Mrs. Patterson, helps Sarah navigate the application process. Single mother, 3 jobs, interested in nursing, Mrs. Patterson murmurs, reading Sarah's situation. Honey, this foundation program sounds like exactly what you need. When's the deadline? Tomorrow. Then we'd better get to work. They spend 3 hours completing the application. Sarah writes an essay about why she wants to become a nurse, her hands shaking as she types about wanting to provide better for Emma while using her natural desire to help others. At midnight, she sits in her car in the school parking lot, staring at her phone. The application is complete, ready to submit. All she has to do is hit send. But what if she's not good enough? What if she fails? What if she's just setting Emma up for disappointment? Her phone buzzes with a text from Mrs. Chen. Emma is sleeping peacefully. She drew you a picture today. It's you in a nurse costume. She's very proud of her hard-working mama. The tears come then, months of exhaustion and hope and fear pouring out in the empty parking lot. Emma believes in her. Maybe it's time she believed in herself. She hits send on the application. 2 weeks pass without word from the nursing program or the Hartwell Foundation. Sarah tries to maintain her normal routine, 3 jobs, minimal sleep, constant worry about bills, but everything feels different now. She's planted a seed of hope and it's growing despite her attempts to manage expectations. At Mel's diner, Robert hasn't returned, but Dolores keeps asking for updates. Any word yet, honey? She asks while they refill salt shakers during the afternoon lull. Nothing yet. Maybe I wasn't what they were looking for after all. Don't you dare give up hope, Dolores scolds. That man saw something special in you. So do I. At Retail Mart, Sarah finds herself looking at customers differently. Instead of seeing only difficult people making her day harder, she notices signs of their struggles. The mother counting coupons, the elderly man carefully reading sale signs, the teenager buying work clothes with nervous excitement. Maybe this is what Jennifer meant about having natural compassion. During cleaning shifts at Meridian Plaza, Sarah sometimes takes the elevator to the 20th floor, where the Hartwell Foundation offices are located. The doors are frosted glass with elegant lettering, and she wonders what goes on behind them. Are they reviewing her application? Did they already choose someone else? Emma notices her mother's distraction. Mommy, you keep looking at your phone. Sorry, baby, just checking messages. Are you waiting for something important? Sarah considers lying, but Emma deserves honesty. I applied for school to become a nurse. I'm waiting to hear if they accepted me. Emma's eyes widen. Really? Like the nurses at my doctor's office? Maybe. That would be so cool. You could help people feel better, just like you help me when I'm sick. That afternoon, while Emma plays at the small neighborhood park, Sarah sits on a bench, watching her daughter navigate the playground equipment with determination. Emma tries the monkey bars 3 times, failing each time, but getting a little further before letting go. I almost made it that time, Mummy, Emma calls out, preparing for attempt number 4. Keep trying, baby, you're getting stronger. As Sarah watches Emma finally make it across all the monkey bars, she realizes she's been teaching her daughter about perseverance without realizing it. Maybe it's time to apply that same determination to her own dreams. On Friday evening, after another exhausting day, Sarah arrives home to find Mrs. Chen waiting in the hallway with Emma and an official-looking envelope. This came for you today, Mrs. Chen says, her eyes bright with anticipation. Sarah's hands shake as she takes the envelope. It's thick, either very good news or very bad news. Emma bounces on her toes beside her. Can I open it, Mommy, please? Sarah's heart pounds so loudly she's sure everyone can hear it. Okay, baby, you can open it. Emma carefully tears the envelope, pulling out multiple sheets of paper. The letterhead reads Metro Denver Community College Nursing Program and Hartwell Foundation. What does it say? Emma asks, holding the papers towards Sarah. Sarah reads the first line and has to sit down on the hallway floor. Dear Ms. Martinez, congratulations. The alarm goes off at 6 a.m., but for the first time in years, Sarah doesn't feel the crushing weight of exhaustion. She still works at Mel's diner, now just the morning shift, and one evening at the cleaning company, but her schedule revolves around her nursing classes at Metro Denver Community College. In the small apartment that somehow feels more spacious now, Sarah helps Emma get ready for school while reviewing flashcards for her anatomy and physiology quiz. Emma has become an enthusiastic study partner. "What's this bone called?" Emma asks, pointing to Sarah's textbook diagram. "That's the femur, the longest bone in your body." "Cool, I'm going to tell my teacher." The drive to Emma's school is different now. Instead of rushing between jobs, Sarah has time to actually talk to her daughter about her day, her dreams, her 6-year-old observations about the world. At Mel's Diner, Sarah's co-workers have embraced her transformation with surprising enthusiasm. Dolores brags to customers about our Sarah going to nursing school, and even gruff cook Jimmy asks about her classes. "How's the studying going, college girl?" Dolores teases as they set up for the breakfast rush. "Hard but good. I love learning again. I forgot how much I missed it." "And you're glowing, honey. Haven't seen you this happy in, well, ever." It's true. Despite the challenges of balancing work, school, and motherhood, Sarah feels more alive than she has in years. The foundation's monthly stipend allows her to work fewer hours, which means more sleep, better food, and precious time with Emma. At 10:30, Robert walks into the diner, his first visit since the life-changing revelation. Sarah approaches his booth with a confident smile. "Good morning, Robert." "The usual?" "Actually, I think I'll try something different today. How about you recommend something?" Sarah considers this. "The blueberry pancakes are amazing, and Dolores makes the best hash browns in Denver." "Sounds perfect." Robert studies her face. "You look well, Sarah. How's school?" "Challenging, but incredible. We started clinical rotations this week at the hospital." Sarah can't contain her excitement. "Yesterday, I helped a nurse care for an elderly patient who was scared about his surgery. By the time I left, he was telling me about his grandchildren and laughing." That's what nursing is really about, human connection. "I understand now why you saw something in me. I thought it was just about working hard, but it's about caring, isn't it?" Robert nods. The hardest workers aren't always the best nurses, but those who naturally see people's humanity and respond with compassion, they change lives. As Sarah brings his breakfast, Robert pulls out a familiar notebook. "Would you mind if I asked how Emma's doing with all the changes? She's my biggest cheerleader. Yesterday she told her class that her mommy is going to be a nurse and help people feel better. She's so proud." Sarah's voice catches slightly. "For the first time, I feel like I'm setting a good example for her." "You were always setting a good example. Working 3 jobs to provide for your child shows incredible love and dedication. Now you're just showing her that dreams are worth pursuing too." After Robert leaves, with another generous tip and a note that simply says, "Keep shining," Sarah finds herself looking around the diner with new eyes. 6 months ago, this felt like a trap, a place where dreams went to die. Now it feels like the launching pad where her new life began. That evening, as Sarah studies at the kitchen table while Emma does homework beside her, her daughter looks up from her math worksheet. "Mommy?" "Yes, baby. I'm proud of you." Sarah stops reading and looks at her daughter, really looks at her. Emma's gained weight since they started having regular meals. Her clothes are newer, bought without the anxiety of wondering how they'll pay rent. Most importantly, her eyes sparkle with security and pride. "I'm proud of you too, Emma." "Do you know why?" Emma shakes her head. "Because you were patient with me while I figured things out. And because you never stopped believing that things could get better." As they work side by side, mother studying to become a nurse, daughter learning long division, Sarah reflects on the mysterious customer who changed everything, not through magic or lottery tickets, but by seeing potential where others saw just another tired waitress. Sometimes the most extraordinary transformations begin with the simplest acts of human kindness. A $20 tip, a few encouraging words. The belief that everyone deserves a second chance. Outside their small apartment window, Denver's skyline twinkles in the distance. But tonight, those lights don't represent an unreachable world of successful people. They represent possibilities. A future where Sarah will wear scrubs instead of a diner uniform, where Emma will see her mother using her gifts to heal others, and where a family's trajectory can be changed forever by one person's willingness to invest in another's dreams. Sarah closes her textbook and helps Emma finish her homework. Tomorrow she has clinical rotations at 6 a.m., but for the first time in years, she looks forward to tomorrow. The note from that first day was right. It was just the beginning.